Constantinople, the queen of cities. For 1,000 years it stood as a beacon of civilization, a crossroads of East and West. Its riches were legendary, its defenses unmatched. Emperors ruled from its golden palaces, their reigns marked by triumphs and tragedies. Yet in 1453 a shadow fell upon Constantinople. The armies of the Ottoman Sultan, Mehmed II, stood at its gates. The stage was set for a clash of civilizations. From the Bosporus Strait to the Sea of Marmara, the city's fortifications were a testament to Byzantine engineering. Towering walls, reinforced over centuries, guarded against invaders. Inside, the city throbbed with life, but fear gripped its citizens. Emperor Constantine XI, the last of the Roman emperors, rallied his men. The Byzantine Empire, once vast, was now reduced to the city itself and a few scattered territories. Constantine was determined to fight, appealing to the West for aid, but his pleas fell on deaf ears. Europe, divided by its own conflicts, abandoned Constantinople to its fate. The Ottoman Empire under Sultan Mehmed II was a rising power. From its humble beginnings in Anatolia, it had grown to encompass vast territories in Asia Minor and the Balkans. Mehmed, known as the Conqueror, was obsessed with Constantinople. He saw its capture as his destiny, a way to cement his legacy. The Byzantine Empire, in stark contrast, was a fading power, its glory days long gone. Constantinople's strategic importance was paramount, controlling vital trade routes between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean. Its capture would be a strategic and symbolic victory for the Ottomans. The Theodosian Walls, a masterpiece of Roman engineering, stood as Constantinople's primary defense. These formidable walls, built in the 5th century, consisted of two parallel walls, separated by a moat. The outer wall, lower than the inner wall, had numerous towers used by archers. The inner wall, towering over 30 feet high, was even more imposing. The Ottomans, however, possessed a weapon that would change the course of warfare: the cannon. Mehmed II commissioned the Hungarian engineer Orban to build a super cannon. This behemoth, capable of hurling massive stone balls over a mile, instilled fear in the hearts of the defenders. Despite the strength of the walls, Constantinople's defenders were outnumbered. The Byzantine army, weakened by years of neglect, could only muster around 7,000 men against an Ottoman force of over 100,000. On April 6, 1453, the Ottoman siege began. Mehmed's cannons unleashed their fury upon the Theodosian walls. The defenders, perched atop the ramparts, returned fire with their own artillery and Greek fire. Days turned into weeks, and the siege dragged on. The Ottomans launched relentless assaults, using ladders, siege towers, and tunnels. The Byzantines fought back with courage and desperation, repelling wave after wave of attackers. The Ottomans tried to bypass the city's formidable seawalls by transporting their ships overland into the Golden Horn. Despite this setback, the Byzantines continued to resist fiercely. The defenders knew that the fate of their city hung in the balance. Despite their valiant efforts, the defenders of Constantinople were fighting a losing battle. The relentless Ottoman bombardment took its toll, weakening the walls and exhausting the defenders. Food and supplies dwindled, and hope began to fade. On May 29, 1453, after weeks of siege warfare, the Ottomans launched their final assault. A breach in the walls near the gate of St. Romanos proved decisive. Ottoman troops poured into the city, their scimitars flashing in the morning light. The last stand of the Byzantine Empire was brief and bloody. Emperor Constantine II, fighting with his men, met his end amidst the chaos. Constantinople, the city that had stood for over 1,000 years, finally fell. The Ottoman soldiers surged through the streets, looting, pillaging, and massacring. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves throughout Europe. It marked the end of an era, the definitive end of the Roman Empire. The news of the city's fall sparked fear and anxiety, fueling fears of further Ottoman expansion into Europe. For the Ottoman Empire, the capture of Constantinople was a triumph of epic proportions. It solidified their position as a major power and ushered in a new era of Ottoman dominance. The city, renamed Istanbul, became the capital of their vast empire. The Hagia Sophia, once the grandest church in Christendom, was converted into a mosque. The fall of Constantinople also had a profound impact on the Renaissance, as Byzantine scholars fleeing the conquest carried ancient texts to Western Europe.